Hello and welcome back to another episode of Unlocking Your Financial Future. I am Ben Schrock, and joining me today is a good friend of mine slash good attorney slash just a good old kind of guy, Joel Cavanaugh. Joel, welcome back, or welcome to the show. You haven't been in there, so welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, Ben. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the nice words.
Yeah, you didn't pay me to do that, so it's I stand by that word.
No, Ben lies for free.
It's perfectly fine. Today we're going to spend a little bit of time. We're going to do this in 2 episodes, talk a little bit about Joel, the attorney, the business owner that he is, and then the second part, talk a little bit about estate planning and ask him some questions about that. So, Joel, just to get started here, give me a little bit of background. Obviously, Joel and I went to high school together. You were my sister's age. You're Cassie's age, right?
Yeah. I think I was a year ahead of Cassie. Graduated high school from Wadsworth in 2006. Spent a year at Cedarville University, and then I transferred to be a ZIP. So went to the University of Akron for undergrad. I got a degree in English, and then I went to the University of Akron Law School and graduated from there and passed the bar and got licensed as an attorney.
Did you always know you wanted to be an attorney? Like, why English, and what led it to be an attorney?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I had no clue what I wanted to do. I do remember, I remember doing a project in, I think it was like sophomore year of high school. Yeah, we had Mr. Callahan.
Yeah.
And I did a presentation, and he said, 2 career paths for you. You should be a preacher, or you should be a lawyer. So I knew when I went to college, I wanted to steer as far away from math as I could.
Yeah.
I like reading and I like writing. And I got married right before I went to law school, and I knew I needed a career. So I took a flyer. I went to law school. I was scared to death because everybody was pre-law.
Sure.
And so when I went in, I'm like, man, I'm the English guy. I'm gonna really struggle. And then they're like, well, this is all reading and writing. It's like, all right.
You chose the right path.
Yeah. So from there on, it was just very clear.
Nice.
That's what I wanted to do.
Was there a point in time in law school that you knew what you wanted to focus on? I mean, because your main focus is more estate planning, right?
It is, yeah.
You're well-versed. You do a lot of different practices, but mostly estate planning?
Yeah, mostly estate planning, real estate business, a lot of transactional things, not a lot of confrontational things.
Yeah.
So I knew pretty early on that, just in keeping with who I am, I like writing. So I like drafting documents. I like reading contracts and analyzing them. Not a big fan of going in the courtroom and fighting.
Yeah.
So I tried to steer as far away from that as I could.
Good. So you graduated, got married, graduated, passed the bar. Took you to where? What was the first landing spot post law school? Yeah,
so I had done a 3-year internship with the city of Parma. So the city of Parma had a law department, and I worked for them, just answering questions for people around the city, anything they needed with their fire chief, police chief, anything like that. And the law director at the time had a private firm, and I asked him about a job, and he said, well, you don't want to work in the public side. I'll take you to the private side. And so their firm did estate planning, real estate, Medicaid, all the stuff I really wanted to do. And
sure.
So from there, I took a job straight when I passed the bar, and ended up coming back to Wadsworth for quite a bit of time at Palisek McIlvaine, and then made the move to go to Akron and work downtown. Yeah.
And all during this time, you have a supporting wife at home, right? And 3 kids?
3 kids, yeah. I've got Rachel and I. We've been married 12 years. This will be 13.
Wow.
Yeah, we met in middle school. We both played soccer for the respective teams. We were both goalies. But only one of us was all-state, all-county, and the girls' player of the year. So we got married right around the end of college, and then right after law school, had our first kid in 2015. And
okay.
So we got an 8-year-old, a 6-year-old, and a 4-year-old.
Wow. Busy house.
Busy house. Busy but fun.
Yeah. And Rachel's at home with the kiddos?
Yeah, she does a great job there. Yeah. She's, man... She never stops.
Yeah, allows you to come after hours record a podcast with me, right? Yeah. She's real happy with us.
Oh, she loves you. I teased somebody because they asked what I did for a living, and I said lawyer. They said, you must work a lot. I said, yeah, it's around 60, 70 hours a week. They said, what's your wife do? I said, she's got the harder job.
Yeah.
She's 24/7 at home. It never stops.
Couldn't agree more with you on that. So now you went to, we met when you were with Palisac, and, when I forget what year that was, Joel, when we ended up connecting, but I was always looking for a good estate planning attorney. And then you got introduced at the Chamber of Commerce lunch, and I'm like, perfect. So I shot off an email and, obviously reconnected with you and have been, sending clients, referring clients back and forth ever since. And it's been a great relationship. Our clients love you and you do a great job for them. But, Palisac took you to then Akron, right? And now Akron is kind of, through the, we don't have to go through the details of the events there, but you ended up in Fair Lawn, still kind of associated with Akron, but you're kind of running your own business now, right?
Yeah, I am. I think it was around 2016 or so, I came back to the area. Okay. And huge blessing. I got to work for Palisac, McIlvaine, Hoffman, and Morse here in town until 2019. Fantastic folks, left on great terms, still very good with all the people there, but I met my boss and really wanted to follow him and learn from him, and he had passed, and so once he passed away, I took over his business, and now that I own the business, driving to downtown doesn't seem appealing. Fairlawn's a little better of a commute.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about owning the business. So you go under your boss at the time, and I think, we were talking about it. He was kind of grooming you, right? He was getting ready for retirement, kind of grooming you guys to take over the shop. So you kind of were, getting ready to. Then unfortunately he passed, and kind of get thrown into the fire, right? So now you are a business owner. What's life like under, working for him and then also now owning the business?
Yeah, it was a big change. Going from being one of the cogs in the machine to being the machine.
Yeah.
I'd say the adjustment is just that you realize that every decision you make matters more because you're not just making decisions for yourself.
Yeah.
I have 8 employees, and so every decision I make impacts them too.
Sure.
So, a lot of freedom in owning your business. Mm-hmm. I get people that tell me all the time, you could take off whenever you want.
You're so lucky, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
I could never work another day if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Now, 8 other people are going to be out of jobs and mad at me.
Yeah.
So it's learning a lot about balance. Mm-hmm. And I think that it doesn't really matter if you're in the legal field or the financial planning field. Owning a business is very similar, I think, across all platforms. It's really knowing your craft and knowing it well,
Sure.
understanding your market, understanding your value in that market, and really putting the money aside and seeing the people and
Sure.
seeing where you're gifted to help people, and then selling yourself as an appropriate means of solving someone's problem.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head too. It's as soon as you eliminate the money side of it, right? Obviously, in transactional based business, it's not a non-for-profit company, but the willingness to help people in our community and everyone in our office preaches that. That's what we're in this business to do, is help people in our community. And once you truly buy into that and believe that, it's amazing how the business just kind of takes off in it.
Yeah, because with people can tell,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people can see through you, even if you think you're good at it.
Yep.
We just got back from a vacation, and it was very obvious the places you went where all they wanted was your money.
Sure.
It's like you spent X to get in the door. Now here's an add-on for 5, and here's this for 10. Or even flying on the airplane.
Right.
Here's your Coke for free. You want a little rum in it? It's going to cost you.
Sure.
It's like you can tell when someone's being very transparent about wanting the money, and it's off-putting for people. And
Absolutely.
Knowing that someone has your best interest at heart makes you feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, and I think that's also a way to, stick out from the crowd, right? You drive down the street and you got, how many financial advising firms, how many law offices, and, how do you really separate yourself from the pack? And I think that's a great way, obviously. And I know, do you ever feel like, any issues with that. You're not just, you open up the phone book, right? The old phone books. I don't know if they make them anymore, and go to the attorney section and how many pages of attorneys there are. So how does, Joel Cavanaugh stick out from the crowd in that case?
And I think that's it. I mean, I think it's, if you treat people well, they're going to tell people.
Yeah.
You treat them poorly, they're going to tell people too.
Sure.
It's just the results are quite different there. So thankfully for us, we really don't do any marketing. We don't seek clients out. It's just you serve somebody well, there's a chance you're going to get 3 more people from that.
Yeah, word of mouth.
Kind of like a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Just, we're not committing fraud or anything like that.
Oh, that's great. So the running the business and being an attorney and being a dad and a husband, I mean, how do you balance that? I know I personally struggle with all those hats you got to wear, right? You're business owner one day, you're also an advisor serving your clients, and a husband to my wife and a father to the kids. How does Joel balance that? I know how I kind of try to juggle it all, and sometimes I do well, sometimes I don't, but how does Joel do it?
Yeah, it's a tough question. It's one that I'm always searching for.
Yeah.
It's one that, like you said, I think sometimes I do it well and sometimes not. I think the biggest realization to me is that in most circumstances, I tend to be the problem.
Yeah.
And so if I can just get out of my own way, things work smoother for other people. So for me, the changes I've noticed is I don't have a lot of me time or free time, and I can rebel against that, and it's problematic, or I can just accept it.
Embrace it.
and learn to love it and live in it, And so I think part of that is I always tease people, every week you get 168 beans. You can allocate those beans any way you want. You got to sleep a certain amount of time. You got to work a certain amount of time. And you've got family, you've got friends, you've got everything you want to do.
Yep.
So it's just a matter of being conscious about where you're putting those beans and making sure that if you have an hour's worth of free time a day, your individual choices don't matter as much. If you've got minutes of free time,
sure,
every second matters. And so I try to be more conscious and intentional about how I'm spending my time and about thinking through the logic of those decisions.
Sure, that makes sense. Now, it's, the one thing I always look at when it's owning your own business and doing this, the comments of must be nice, right? Must have all this free time. So I always ask I interview a lot of business owners on this and talk to them. So is it nice? Yeah, I'm sure it is, right? It is nice, but is it really nice to own your own business? Do people really see through all the stuff that you have to deal with on a daily basis that you take home with you, or can you draw that line? I know I struggle with that, separating that work from home sometimes, but how do you do it?
I think everybody struggles with it. I'll tease you just in an anecdote. My daughter started playing softball. And I got asked by the lady who's coaching, we're friends with, to be an assistant coach. And I tell you what, I was thrilled. My wife goes, "Why are you so happy?" And I said, "Because someone is going to tell me what to do.
Right.
I don't have to make decisions. I just have to go, hey, go shag fly balls." Okay, sounds good. So there's definitely a trade-off no matter what.
Sure.
I think the pros of owning a business and being able to have the freedom to set a schedule, to take time off when you want, it's definitely outweighs the cons.
Yeah.
But I would say that a lot of people don't understand that when you own a business, you are the business. And so every like I say, every choice you make impacts somebody.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where people no longer see you, they just see your business. So it's one of those where I can't go out socially without someone pinning me as you're the lawyer.
Right.
And so let's go talk to the lawyer because I got a question.
Sure.
Let's go talk to Ben about how the market's
Oh,
going
yeah.
now. So,
hey, while I have you real quick, I got a quick question. I'm guilty of it for you too. So.
which is fine. I mean, we all do it.
Yeah.
We all know it. But it's where I tease, where it's like, you're right, and I set my own salary.
Yeah.
And if you factor in the amount of time I spend doing everything, I'm maybe making minimum wage.
Below minimum wage. Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's great stuff, man. So we'll kind of wrap things up here, and I'll let Joel plug his information. Part 2, we're going to talk more about estate planning. I'm going to quiz him on some estate planning stuff. Joel, if you share out your information here, how people can contact you, office number, and maybe email address if they have any questions, and then we'll kind of wrap things up and head on to episode 2.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. Like Ben said, I do estate planning. I do a lot of wills, trusts. I do a lot of probate and estate administration. And you can reach me at 330-253-2227. Or if you want, email is always preferred. It's Joel, Joel, at neolaw.biz.
Awesome. Thanks, Joel. And if you guys have any questions for us, you can reach us here at the office at 330-473-1060, or feel free to reach out to us on our website at www.BASchrock-FG.com. Thanks, Joel.
Thanks, Ben.